You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 284. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barner, otherwise known as Cynicism Lad.
Well, there's the understatement of the year.
Indeed.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by The Outhousers. You can find our show and other nifty content at theouthouse.com. And if you enjoy this program, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. Jeff, we were coming back after a couple-month hiatus. This happens every holiday season, and we just have a hard time getting back into the swing of things. But we're coming back with the Legion of Superheroes in their first limited series from 1980. It is Secrets of the Legion of Superheroes. And the first issue we're going to talk about is number 1. And this is cover dated January of 1981. But according to Mike's Amazing World of Comics, it hit the stands October 9th, 1980. We have a nice, interesting cover here, penciled by Jim Janes and inked by Dick Giordano.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Superboy, excuse me, and some other Legionnaires are looking at this dame pushing a button and begging her not to. Superboy is, and she goes ahead and clicks it anyway.
And this person is in shadow. We don't know who it is.
But you know it's a girl. So.
Yes. I like the cover.
Yeah, I do too. I thought the star was part of her outfit.
Oh, Saturn Girls.
Yeah.
No, they just.
That's just part of the title.
The logo, yeah.
Logo.
Interesting.
So who do we have? We have
we got
Chameleon Boy,
Superboy, yeah. Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad.
And who is this?
That's Cosmic Boy.
Man,
he's had some costume changes, and this is a period where he's got his really lame costume.
Looks like a bustier or something.
Because it is. He's not wearing a shirt. That is a piece of metal that he's magnetized to his body.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea that dreamed up by an excellent artist, Mike Grell.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody hates this costume, and fandom has never let him forget it.
Oh, even Noble Homer nodded once or twice.
Yes,
it's
a bad costume, and it's silly because, okay, fine, you're going to use your magnetic powers to adhere metal to your body. What happens when somebody knocks you out? Do your clothes fall off?
Ooh.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. Oh, what if someone pours hot coffee down there? You can't protect yourself.
Right. I think there are some problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a bad costume. I still like Cosmic Boy. He's great.
Yeah.
So I forgive Mike Grell because he's great. He did lots of great things in comics.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our splash page here. The story is called "The Past Seen Darkly." Now this was plotted by DC historian E. Nelson Bridwell, and editor. Bridwell wore many hats at DC over the years, but he was a really important figure for them at the company for decades. But he plotted it, and then Paul Kupperberg scripted it, and the story was penciled by Jim Janes and inked by Frank Chiaramonte.
I can't remember another comic book being plotted or them mentioning it.
Your memory is faulty. That's all.
Oh no.
Lots of stories. Sometimes they don't credit it, but a lot of them will someone will here's the story beats. This is the general idea of what what's going to happen in the story. That's the plotting part.
Yeah.
And then the scripter will say, okay, I am going to flesh that out, make sure I hit all those dots, and tell the broader story inside.
Well, that's how they made Jimmy Olsen. Someone said, "Oh, have Jimmy Olsen as a Turtle Boy," and then you write it out.
Right.
I knew about that, but I never have seen it
credited
in the credits.
Okay, we've totally covered issues where this has been done. However, Bronze Age is different than Silver Age. It's like your editor will say, "Here's a plot, write me the story," and they're not getting plotter credit; they're just getting editor credit. As things have progressed differently in comics over years, that kind of changed.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go back to the splash page panel.
Wow, we have all the Legionnaires.
Yep. God, I don't even know a couple of them. Bouncing Boy, yay.
Yeah.
And
I can name all of them, but you know.
you are superior to me.
And don't you
Oh, I
forget it.
know Brainiac 5. Actually, those two are my favorites. I guess that's why.
Yeah, I like Brainiac 5 too. So R.J. Brand, excuse me, the Legion's benefactor, R.J. Brand, is ill.
It's got some STD name. No, Jorgen fever.
Yeah, Yorgian fever, is that it?
Yeah,
It's not.
Jorgian. Or
Yeah,
something
it's not
like
an
that.
STD, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have trouble with names today. Sorry.
You're
folks.
gonna have trouble with the names.
Okay. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Uh,
Speak for yourself.
all right. Okay. So they're talking about, oh, we can't. This disease cannot be cured. This first person ever to have it on Earth. So what are we gonna do? And everybody's really bummed out.
Yeah, Mon-El. There's a great panel of Mon-El leaning over this like view screen panel. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We go back to the Legion. Is it headquarters now?
Yeah,
It was clubhouse.
yeah, but they gave their old clubhouse to the Substitute Legion, Jeff.
Mhm. Yeah. But I was making sure what it's called.
Yeah, the Legion HQ in Legion Plaza.
Mhm. All right. A couple of masked people have gotten into the headquarters, and they're going to the computer room and looking up information on the computer.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. It's a guy and a girl, and
It's probably the gal from the cover, the shadowy gal from the cover.
indeed, yep.
All right. And as they're going through Legion files, we are getting the origin of the Legion itself and each Legionnaire. They're looking for
Mhm.
information. Oh.
Okay.
So we start with Cosmic Boy.
Yeah. Who is Rock Kren?
Yeah.
And let's see. He was born on Brawl, or
You said it right the first time. Brawl.
And there's only two species on there: humans and metallic dinosaurs. And it sounds like fun to the 8-year-old in me. On this planet, they have to they're about to be exterminated, but they develop this power to repel metal,
Yeah.
and
And so the people of Brawl have these magnetic powers now.
mhm. So he's 14, so that's when you go to work on Brawl, and so he goes to Earth, and
To look for a job.
yep, and that's the end of the story.
For now.
They said, well, this is not the one we're looking for. The
Yeah.
crooks say.
Right. They're really weaving a lot as we go through this series. A lot of the origins of the individual Legionnaires in the search for this mystery.
And that's the next two issues is that.
Yeah. All three.
All right, so we have Imra Ardeen.
Yes.
She's Saturn Girl.
Yeah, and she's from one of the the moon of Saturn or something like that, and everyone there is telepathic.
But she's super telepathic, even for that planet.
Yeah, and the reason I think they try to make this distinction is because many of the Legionnaires, they're like, my people on my planet can do this,
Mm-hmm.
but they have to make them extra good at it or something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Legion itself isn't special. It's just made up of these people. Like, okay, so that whole race could just come and conquer someplace. The Legion isn't special. It's just a group of people,
Indeed. Yeah.
I think as time went on, they did less and less of the I'm from this planet and we do this there, and more individualized origins, so you can kind of
Right.
avoid that.
Mhm.
Or when they introduced Element Lad, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, like his whole race was destroyed except for him.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Oh, okay. Garth Rands, who
Yeah.
is Lightning Lad.
Yeah.
From the planet Wynoth.
Yeah, Gwyneth Adams.
Okay.
He and his sister and their older brother Mecht were cruising through space, having fun, I think.
And then they have a crash.
Yeah.
And then these lightning creatures, the ship is out power, so they have these lightning creatures. Oh, if we lure the lightning creatures, they'll shoot electricity at our ship, and then we will be able to fly off. Unfortunately, the creatures shoot the people instead.
And instead of dying, they get electrical powers.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's fun.
Yeah. All right, so they're able to escape, and then the older Mecht, the older brother, is, hey, see ya, suckers! I'm going to make money doing this.
Yeah. And later he'd be a founding member of the Legion of Super Villains.
cool.
Yeah.
I love legions of supervillains. I don't.
Just
All the time.
groups of villains.
Yeah, they're just great.
Yeah. Oh man, I love the Legion's like prime group of villains that they fight at the Fatal Five, and they are great.
So, Garth says, well, he's looking for he wants to find his brother. But said, oh, well, let me go to Earth and go talk to space police.
Yeah.
Because there is no intergalactic telephone, I guess.
Right. So on the three of them are all on a passage to Earth at the same time. The three founding Legionnaires.
Yeah. And, okay, there's Rock Kren, and there's...
Imra Ardeen.
And Saturn Girl. But,
yeah. That is Saturn Girl.
So, it was... Okay. Rock is interested in Saturn Girl. Would just be really bad if you're going after a girl who can read your mind.
Yeah. No, it's not Rock who's interested in Saturn Girl. It's Garth.
Oh yeah, it's Garth. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. And plus, have you met Lightning Lad? He's a jerk. He's like Johnny Storm, but less of a douchebag.
Okay.
Kind of a little. I mean,
Johnny's got his good points. I mean, I'm sometimes.
I'll take Lightning Lad over Johnny, but because I like Lightning Lad, I don't like Johnny Storm.
Mm-hmm.
But also on this same space flight is intergalactic billionaire R.J. Brand.
Mm-hmm. And so, let's see.
There's an assassination attempt on Mr. Brand that Saturn Girl gets wind of.
And all three save him, which is cool.
Yeah. Oh, but wait, we have a Twinkie alert.
Yay!
With Aquaman and the Space Rescue Capsule, excuse me.
Yeah. And Aquaman is swimming with his kid, it looks like.
No. That's Aqualad. That's not his son. Not his son.
I haven't read much Aquaman. And they're with a terrifying manatee.
Yeah.
But, okay, there's some astronauts capsule that goes into the bottom of the ocean, and they save them. And the astronauts are scared. You must be aliens. And, no, we're not. Look, we have Hostess fruit pies.
And you astronauts haven't been reading the news, or you'd think they'd know who Aquaman is.
Yeah. If a superhero ever emerged in real life, everybody would know who he was.
Yeah, they would be worldwide front page news, like real superheroes, not like dark, shadowy Avengers of the Night like Batman, but like people like Superman and Aquaman, that kind of superhero.
Yeah,
everyone.
And Batman would too, but not as much.
Yeah, people would know about Batman. They would know he existed, or know of the rumors of his existence.
Mm-hmm.
It would make the rounds. People would know about it.
And Aquaman doesn't even have a alter ego.
No,
he's
not
just
really.
Aquaman.
Yeah. The astronauts get a big delight in every bite of Hostess fruit pies.
Yeah, but Aquaman doesn't eat them because they know they taste like crap.
So. I thought they were good. I liked them when I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I did too. So.
Back to our story. R.J. Brand suggests that the three of them form a legion of superheroes, and he'll bankroll them. Mm-hmm. And so, well, I guess that solves the looking for a job problems of these young folks.
You
didn't know the Legion was
a paying job. I didn't.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I thought they're not going to tell you how much you get paid because their money would be it wouldn't make any sense because $1,000 today is a lot of money.
Well,
but
and
10 years from now might be buy a burger.
And also, the 30th century, it's like after several world wars, the Great Disaster period with Kamandi has happened and faded. I wonder what happened to all those races of animal people. But like OMAC has come around and gone away. Stuff like that. So like all kinds of earth-shattering and shakeups have happened to the human race.
So the dollar's probably not around.
Yeah, it's probably not dollars.
Yeah, probably.
And
I get 30 pot booze a day. That's from Star Trek.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's kind of like the Star Trek where we don't have a scarcity struggle, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So the Legion is formed. Yay.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I had never read the Origin of the Legion, which is
Oh.
kind of cool. So they go around, they kick butt, and the Science Police, which is a weird name.
What do you want, Jeff?
Space Police would be better, or Galactic Police. But
I think the implication is like science is kind of like the laws of which we are governed by. It's a more enlightened age.
okay,
Okay.
all right. But the Science Police like the Legion, and they deputize them.
Yeah. So the next member to join the Legion is Triplicate Girl.
Oh, Luornu?
I know it's goofily spelled because it's science fiction, but I always read it as we are fancifying a very normal name. I always read it as Lorna Durgo.
Okay.
Just like when we get to Colossal Boy, it's Jim Allen, but it's spelled Gimallon. I just say
okay.
Jim Allen, and I say Lorna Durgo. And if somebody wants to think I'm wrong, that's fine.
Okay.
But Luornu is just so clumsy. I gotta go with Lorna.
Yeah. So, Triplicate last, well, she loses one of her bodies.
Don't talk about that just
Oh,
yet.
no, sorry. Well,
But Triplicate Girl, what planet is she from again? Big Dizzle, is it? Is
where
that
is
the
she?
one, or am I thinking of something?
Karg.
Oh, she's from. That's right. Big Dizzle is where Stringy Violet's from, I think. But anyway, from Karg, and everyone on Karg can triplicate themselves because reasons.
Yeah. Okay. There is no reason. Okay.
Comic book reasons.
Yeah.
Then Phantom Girl joins. I like how the next couple of Legionnaires that join are chicks.
Yeah. Tina Wazo.
Yeah. Oh, I love Phantom Girl. Love her. So yeah, her name is. It's okay. Tinya, there are worse names. There are worse names than Tinya.
But Tinya and Wazoo is, I think, the stupidest names, the real names.
You have to remember, somebody came up with this in like 1960.
Yeah. So I know. I'm just saying. So.
Okay. Well, I'm saying you're
I'm
wrong.
not offended.
I'm saying you're a fart face. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Hey. Like I almost went into some Andrew Dice Clay there. I'm like, oh wait, I try to keep it clean. But yes, and of course, Phantom Girl, she walks through walls and things like that, which is good.
Yeah, that would be.
That's a great superpower.
Yeah, yes, it is. She joins by just sneaking into the clubhouse. Hey, here I am.
Rock you like a hurricane.
I would not. Yeah, I would not want somebody. Very good.
Yeah.
I would not want someone like that around. And how can you have any privacy?
That would freak you out. One thing that they also determined that Phantom Girl can go to the Phantom Zone.
Ooh.
Or at least can communicate with people in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, check it out, see who's there.
So yeah, she could talk to Mon-El when he was, stuck in there.
Mm-hmm. Poor Mon-El.
I know.
1,000 years.
1,000 years in the Phantom Zone with Zod and Namek and all those a-holes. Like I would and it's got to be boring.
I mean, can you do anything? They don't eat.
You are immaterial in the Phantom Zone.
Can you play a card game?
No, I would think. I want to read like an Elseworlds or an imaginary story where they get Mon-El out of the Phantom Zone and he's insane and is this like intense supervillain that is now a major force that they have to contend with.
Yeah,
that would make. I mean, though I love Mon-El as a good guy, but
Phantom Zone, I think a good story. People just going insane in there or something, and
literally every other person in the Phantom Zone is evil.
Yeah,
he was the only good guy in there, and he was also the only non-Kryptonian.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know there's Namek, the guy with the Rondor horn, but that was because he drank the elixir of the Rondor.
I can't remember this. Okay.
You don't remember this guy? He also was a hunchback.
Oh.
He came out of this Phantom Zone and fought Superman. I mean, like, that's how.
Okay.
And Cruel is in there. All those jerks.
Cruel. I
Yeah.
love that one. Okay. Okay. So,
So the Legion have people in it.
Yep.
There are members of the Legion.
So they Who are they beating up here?
Looks like robots.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh wait a minute. It's a lot of people.
I know. This is dense storytelling, I realize, but
Hmm.
this is like very close to dead air, Jeff. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're killing me, man.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, Phantom Girl comes just in time to fight. Oh, what's his name?
Lucifer 7.
Yeah.
The first
Oh.
man, Lucifer 1 through 6, pikers. This guy is a real villain. He looks like an orange vampire with long hair and the most intense eyebrows you've ever seen.
Yeah. All right. You see a photo of him. He's next to a person. Is that the original him before he turned Lucifer?
No, that is the science police officer that they're talking to on the vid screen.
Okay.
Come on,
All right.
Jeff. Have you read comic books before?
No, I haven't.
This is all new to you.
Okay. Hey, we meet Marla Latham,
Yeah, who is a guy.
who helps Brand.
R.J. Brand. Yeah. Correct.
He's his assistant.
Who I wasn't really terribly familiar with Marla before this.
I never heard of him
series.
at all.
Yeah.
All right, so what's
Lucifer
Lucifer 7? I can't get that name. He turns up the power to everybody. Everything.
On the whole planet Earth.
No, the universe,
Oh man,
and he destroys a system.
a star
He kills
system.
hundreds of millions of people, or
Yeah,
billions, maybe.
what a jerk.
Yeah, and he's happy about it apparently.
Yeah. And so when they get the power back on, the
Yeah.
Legion go kick his butt
Yeah, they're the Legion are watching Superboy.
using the Phantom Zone projector.
Yeah, and so they go off to Lucifer 7's place and the planet, and Lucifer 7 sees them, and he blows up their ship. But they're in the little capsules, and they come down, and Lucifer 7, hey, I want to just defeat them and all, and it'll be a nice hunting job.
Yeah.
I don't know what his powers is.
It doesn't even matter. He might not even have powers.
Yeah, that's true. He has a power of massive eyebrows.
Yeah.
But he goes out with a gun and 2 metal dogs.
Yeah.
And
We might even say they're robots.
Yeah,
We could call them Robo-Wolves.
yeah. Who's a good Robo-Wolf? Who is? Oh, so he loses like a chump. It's really, it's, a guy's killed 100 million people, and Triple like a girl beats him up.
Hey, but there's 3 of her and 1 of him.
Yeah, but but Triple like a girl. That's her only power. She might know some kung fu or something, but she doesn't have any kind of super strength or anything like that.
Right, and I think also, well, I mean, in the Legion, you also do learn combat. You learn fighting.
Right.
But I think this is early enough in their timelines before the flight ring was invented by Brainiac 5, before Brainiac 5.
Ah.
So I love how that they all can fly because of the ring.
Mm-hmm. That is cool.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, she didn't have the flight ring also.
Yeah, and they catch her. Yay! So, it acts like he's going to be back, but I don't know if he.
I think he was just made up for this, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, I'm glad.
Yeah. You're like, oh, get rid of that guy.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Hey, they so Brand makes a time bubble
Yeah.
so they can go get Supergirl.
And I always thought, I was under the impression that Brainiac 5 invented the time bubble.
Hmm.
But, I see why they're doing this. Because the time bubble is an element in Legion stories before the introduction of Brainiac 5.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
okay.
And you'd have to have it now because Brainiac 5's not around
Yeah.
in the Legion.
Okay. So, yeah, they're going to go and invite Supergirl, which is weird. That story was published after the original story where they go and meet Superboy for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But chronologically, in continuity, this is first. Weird, I know.
Yeah. Okay, so they decide to invite Supergirl, which is why they're using the time.
Hey, you skipped over the introduction of Colossal Boy.
Oh, but as long as she's being thought of to be joining the Legion, they're also thinking of
Oh, that's right. Invisible Kid and Colossal Boy.
and Chameleon Boy.
Oh, yeah.
And
I really like Chameleon
now,
Boy.
Red Kryptonite ages Supergirl so she can't join, which is stupid.
It is stupid. But the earliest Legion stories, they were like, you couldn't be over 18 to join, which is dumb. And they also said we could only induct one new member a year in those early stories. And then they changed that
Yeah.
because it's
It's
too
dumb.
too limiting.
Yeah. Oh,
And who cares how old somebody is? That's dumb.
oh, yeah.
I mean, as long as they're not like some old codger, who cares? You know,
Yeah.
like there's the Justice Society, and they're old and they
Mhm.
kick butt.
Yeah, I don't understand. And also, the thing here is, I mean, okay, so you want 18, but she is 18. She's younger than 18. She just had Red Kryptonite thing happen.
And that made her physically appear older.
Yeah.
It's totally lame. It's totally a cop out. I think it was editorially like, let's test the waters and see if people were like really clamoring for Supergirl and Legion stories to
Mhm.
be a thing.
Yeah.
Because when that story was originally published, there were maybe 2 handfuls of Legion stories at
Mhm.
most.
Yeah. It's poor Supergirl's crying about
I know.
it. And
It's sad.
yeah.
So,
Hey.
but
so-
but at that same time, Chameleon Boy, Colossal Boy, and Invisible Kid do all get inducted into the Legion.
Mhm.
Chameleon Boy is a Durlan.
Mhm.
They're a shape-shifting race,
Yeah. And
and they are mistrusted throughout the galaxy.
I can understand that.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, people are crappy about it, but it makes sense that they would. That
Mhm. 'Cause-
you know, terrible people.
Yeah.
People would be that way.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
Invisible Kid created this invisibility elixir, and used it to make it so he could become invisible at will. He was, of course, and Colossal Boy. He's from a planet where they could change shape.
Yeah.
I can't
Mhm.
remember. His mother, incidentally, became the president of Earth at some point.
Wow.
Maybe that's right. Maybe he wasn't from someplace. I forget. No, he had. What was it? He. It was a comet or something gave him the power to grow.
Yeah.
There's after the Legion got rebooted, then they made it. He was from another planet.
Yeah. Hana Xanthu, I guess.
Mm,
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, here. One of them is, yeah. Colossal Boy was in Israel, of all places.
Yeah. No, he's a Jew.
Mm-hmm.
It an odd distinction because they don't do that with any other characters.
Yeah.
But okay, you know, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly don't have any objections.
Not at all.
Who's next? Starboy?
Yeah. And he's from the planet Xanthu.
That's right. Tom Keller.
Yeah. They're on this. They're harvesting solar power, and they get too much, or something, and then he's an infant, and he gets superpowers. Yay!
Yeah. At first, he had like a whole array of superpowers that were similar to Superboy's,
Mm-hmm.
and then those faded, and then he only had after that he only had the power to make things heavier.
He's in a wreck. Then he gets more superpowers,
Yeah.
and this is twice spacecraft wrecks cause people to have superpowers.
Yeah. There's a lot of that.
Okay, so
They didn't. I guess they didn't have all that radioactivity to
right,
get powers
or
from.
those spiders.
Yeah. There are so many panels that I have noticed. They're a close up of gals' faces that really look like Wally Wood swipes. Here's one of Saturn Girl that totally looks like a Wally Wood face. There's
That's not Saturn Girl.
who is it?
That's the companion Marlo.
Okay, it's
Marlo.
another blonde. Sorry, but anyway, that face looks like a Wally Wood face. There's a panel of Phantom Girl that totally looks like a Wally Wood swipe.
Mhm.
I'm not complaining because I love Woody.
Okay. The what's going on are the two crooks or whatever they
The
are.
people that were sneaking around, they're Marla
Yeah.
and this gal.
They're looking at each Legionnaire, and they're saying, this ain't the one. Go into the next one. and then we get the origin story.
Right.
Nah, that's not the right one. And so we got to the end here, and then Legionnaires show up.
That's right.
And they're ticked
led
off.
by Wildfire and looks like Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Brainiac 5's there too.
Yeah, he comes in later.
Yeah.
So, and so they find out, hey, it's Marla, Latham. He is trying to save R.J. Brand's life, but he can't tell the Legionnaires why.
Not why he's trying to save his life, but why he needs to go through all their files.
Yeah, and what he's looking for.
Right.
Brainiac 5 says, oh, does he think that one of the Legionnaires is killing Brand? I don't know.
Weird.
And that's how it ends.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. And we're going to take a quick promotional break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Secrets of the Legion of Superheroes #2.
Guys, we finally developed our time machine. Should we use it to go back and see how Stonehenge was built?
Or become friends with Hitler and convince him to stay in art school.
Or we could go back in time and get the comic books we missed. Yeah!
The Comic Book Time Machine. A journey back in time to explore comic books. Good and bad. Whether from 7 decades ago or 7 days ago. Join our journey at comicbooktimemachine.com.
Batman Nightcast, a thrilling new podcast from the Fire and Water Podcast Network, hosted by Ryan Daly
and Chris Franklin. Nightcast chronicles the Cape Crusaders' adventures in Batman and Detective Comics after Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Highlights from this legendary era include
Batman number 400,
Legends,
Mike Barr and Alan Davis,
Batman Year 1,
Batman Year 2,
Max Allan Collins,
Ugh.
the new Jason Todd,
Ugh.
Millennium,
You're not doing this right. Let me take over. Alan Grant and Norm Brayfogle.
Alan Grant from Jurassic Park?
Did you hear me say Norm freaking Brayfogle?
Oh yeah,
Son of the Demon.
The Killing Joke,
A Death in the Family.
Batman Year 3,
A Lonely Place of Dying.
Alan Grant, Alan Davis, Max Allan Collins. Why are there so many people named Alan from this era of Batman?
The Rise of Tim Drake.
Legends of the Dark Knight.
And that's just up until 1989.
Did anything exciting happen with Batman after that?
You'll have to tune in to find out.
Batman Nightcast, part of the Fire and Water Podcast Network.
Find it on iTunes and at fireandwaterpodcast.com.
Oh, we forgot to mention your favorite issue, when Batman fires Dick Grayson.
You want to find another co-host?
And we're back. So, on to Secret of the Legion of Superheroes, #2. Cover dated February of 1981. But according to Mike's Amazing World of Comics, it hit the stands on November 13th, 1980. And we have a really nice cover here, penciled and inked by Dick Giordano.
I like it.
I like this cover. I like it better than the first issue, to be honest.
Yeah.
One, I like that Dick Giordano got to do it on his own.
Mm-hmm.
He's terrific, and you'd see him ink a lot of stuff and not get to pencil a lot of things, because he's an editor at DC at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's an executive there, but he was an artist before, so
I liked it. Okay, but I like the writing, what they say on it, even better. Because they really go. Let's just describe it.
Okay.
There's a smaller cover, and around the border we have Legionnaires.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Very nice.
I know a few.
Well, there's Shadow Lass, Ultra Boy, Shrinking Violet, Sun Boy, Dream Girl, and Tyrock.
Ooh, I've never heard of them.
Tyrock is kind of like kind of an embarrassing entry into the Legion, because they want, like, let's do a black guy, but do it in the worst, most clumsy way possible, and give him a weird power that sucks. And
what's his power? Do you know?
we're gonna get to it. I think it's in this issue or next.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we'll talk about Tyrock. Okay.
Okay. So in the smaller one, we have Superboy and Brainiac 5 and
Princess Projectra, Phantom Girl, and probably Saturn Girl.
Okay. They're reading the Legion file, and one of them says, "Is there the name of the one Legionnaire who can save us all?" And I'm guessing Bouncing Boy, right?
No.
No.
I'm not going to give it away.
No. But if we don't learn the name, if someone else learns the name, it could be the end of the Legion. Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's get serious. So
Right.
It's getting real.
Yeah. So, splash page, very nice. We pick up where the last issue left off. The story in this issue is called R.J. Brand is Dying. Plotted by E. Nelson Bridwell, scripted by Paul Kupperberg, penciled by Jim Janes, and inked by Frank Chiaramonte.
Cool.
Yeah, so in this splash page we have, what's the guy's name? Lorna or whatever?
Marla.
Marla, being confronted by Brainiac 5, Mon-El, Chameleon Boy, and Wildfire.
Yeah, and so what's up? And he's
Man.
So he says, I'm looking to save Grant's life, and so I got to look at this, but I can't tell you what I'm looking for.
Well, I think it's weird though because he's already part of the Legion organization,
Why
and he's the major domo, or he's the right hand man of their boss.
Yeah.
Why he's got to go sneak? Why he doesn't even have? Why he can't have access to it already is beyond me. But there are secrets, hence the title, and also because it allowed us to have a bit of mystery in each issue. Oh, it was revealed at the end. Oh, it was Marla.
Yeah.
And in this one, something will be revealed at the end, and and so on. So
they're he's looking at the history of the Legion,
looking for clues to find out which Legionnaire holds the secret to saving R.J. Brand's life.
Okay, so Coral Dogs.
I think Karate Kid joins before Projectra and Karate Kid, or at least they're. Well, yeah, there he is. Yes, that's Brainiac 5. Oh, sorry, they're just in the panel.
Yeah.
But yeah, Coral Dogs, who is okay. He is the descendant of the Kaluan child that the android supervillain Brainiac adopted. Brainiac 2 was Vrildox, and then Brainiac 5 is his biological descendant.
Yeah, I think it's cool that he chose Brainiac 5 as like a defiant joke.
Because like Brainiac, the villain, was this like horrible villain, and
I'm going to make up for it by being Brainiac 5 and a hero.
Yeah.
So he's 12th level intelligence.
Yeah.
I've always loved that.
Yeah.
I'm only 11. It's like, hey, don't roll your eyes at me, young man.
Yeah. So and Brainiac 5, he invented he adapted the force field that Brainiac originally used and made it even better, I think, as a personal force field. That I think sometimes he can extend to include others in it to protect, which is neat. And then he's got his great intellect, and he created the flight rings so every Legionnaire could fly and things like that.
I love his look. The green skin and yellow hair is just cool.
Yeah, I mean, the green skin, the Kaluans, they are green skinned, but yeah.
Okay, now they look at Selu Digby.
Yeah.
Who is Shrinking Violet.
Yeah.
From Imsk.
Yeah, that's the one from Imsk.
Everybody can shrink, but she can shrink the most.
Yeah.
We get that again.
Yeah.
Shrinking is low on the super powers I would want.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it was just general size, if I could be a giant too.
Yeah.
Without having heart failure.
All right, we got to move this rock. Let me turn into a giant. I got to get into the house and I lost my key. I'll be shrinking. But that's not cool. Super strength is better, and invulnerability and flying.
True, but in comic books, one thing that's always been very visually striking is to have giant objects or animals and small people, or the inverse of that.
Yeah.
It's very visually appealing. And so size-changing powers or shrink rays or things like that there's a reason we see this stuff again and again,
Yeah.
you know,
And
from the
movies,
golden
too.
age
The Incredible
on.
Shrinking Man.
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which was a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and The Incredible Shrinking Man, what a great movie.
Yes.
Um,
Him fighting the cat was awesome.
Yeah.
And the spider. And,
Yeah.
and it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
yeah, and you even saw that in an earlier film, Dr. Cyclops.
That's right. I
Yeah.
haven't seen that. So.
Yeah, and in the not as great but still interesting movie, Attack of the Puppet People.
Yeah.
And then
TV
of course,
show Dr. Shrinker.
yes, and Planet of the Giants.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a cool show.
Mhm.
And also there was The Amazing Colossal Man and War of the Colossal Beast. Those are fun.
And don't forget Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
I was getting there.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, but like those are fun, neat movies.
Yeah.
In a visual medium, be it
Mhm.
film or in comic books, it's very appealing. But yes, it wouldn't be on my first.
Right.
It wouldn't be in my first top 10 of powers that I would want.
maybe in the bottom of the top 100. I don't know. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Then we have some story.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
Oh, then they get Superboy.
Yeah. And so they give Superboy 3 tasks which are doomed to fail.
Yeah, they're all set up so he would have to like stop doing the whatever task it was. It wasn't any life-threatening thing to
Right.
actually go and save lives.
Yeah.
And so they had him fail at each of those things and made him cry
Yeah.
because they rejected him for Legion, and then they were, oh, just kidding.
Superboy is a better man than I, because I'd be pissed. I'd be so mad.
Right. I mean, you've read that story,
Yeah, I
right?
have.
It's wonderful.
It is wonderful. So,
Um,
and it shows how why Superboy and Superman are great. He's a great hero.
yeah. Well, and I think the Legion is maybe the most important developmental element to the Superman mythology, and here's why. Because this is where Superboy, he goes to the future. He has all these adventures with people he can have peers
Yeah.
as a young man, and he learns leadership. He becomes a man. He masters his powers, and he has all his experience fighting these supervillains in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes back to the 20th century, and
Most of those guys are punks.
Superman is a much more imposing figure because of his adventures as Superboy in the 30th century.
That is interesting, and I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think he grew to manhood through his experiences to Legion.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Dirk Magnar
Oh yeah, Sunboy.
was given powers by a nuclear assassination attempt.
Man,
Yeah. Okay.
I think isn't it Dr. Regulus was trying to kill Dirk's parents or something like that.
No, there was an accident, and Dr. Regulus was fired, so he blames Dirk, and so he wants to kill Dirk, and he
Yeah.
puts him into a radiation chamber, and he gives him superpowers.
Yeah, and Dr. Regulus would be a recurring Legion villain and the arch nemesis of Sunboy.
Mm-hmm.
So, not a lot of the Legionnaires have their own, like, oh, this guy in particular is my arch enemy.
Mhm.
They have a slew of villains. They have quite a cool rogues gallery, you know, to varying degrees. There's some lamos in there, but
I love Rogues Gallery. I like them coming back. The problem is why don't they kill them or put them in jail where they can get out? But
oh yeah,
they're
well,
so
I mean,
much fun.
I mean,
you don't
well,
have to
and
learn about them again and all that. But,
well, yeah, and villains. I love that they have the prison planet Takron Galtos,
mhm.
where all the bad guys go,
Yeah.
and eventually, you know, here and there escape.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's their Arkham Asylum.
yeah, and I will take Takron Galtos to Arkham because, well, okay, a crazy person escapes and kills people, gets caught, and then goes back to Castle Dracula. Okay, you know.
Yeah.
But a penal colony planet that is got a lot of super powered super villains there.
Mhm.
Okay, that's exciting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, beyond the Fatal Five and the Legion of super villains, I mean, they've got Mordru, they've got the Time Trapper, they have Universo. They've got some interesting ones like Grimbor the Chainsman. You remember him? We talked about him. Grimbor and the Chainsman and Charma.
Yes.
This was years ago. We talked about them on the show, so it's been some time. But yeah, a colorful array of villainy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Sun Boy, and then they get who joins next? Ultra
Joe
Boy.
Na.
Yeah, Joe Na, Ultra Boy, and he got these powers from being inside a whale,
Yeah.
a space
Beast.
whale.
Yeah, which is the second time this has happened. And Space Beast has turned them into super heroes.
Oh yeah. We have a lot of recurring things like that. But he's interesting. He has basically the same power set as Superboy, except he can only use one power at a time.
I'd be jiggy with that. That's fine.
Well, but you have to think about it. You have to really be conscious of how you're using your superpowers, because super strength is no good if you don't have invulnerability. Like, you don't want to punch a steel wall without invulnerability. You'll break your hand. So Ultra Boy has to think about all this stuff. I love that the flight ring goes, okay, we'll give him the free one. You can fly all the time. But he's having to switch back and forth between super strength and invulnerability, for example, along with, I think, Penetravision and other things like that. But yeah.
Okay, here's the most ridiculous Legionnaire of all time.
Are you
and
sure?
One of my favorites. Yeah, Bouncing Boy.
Okay.
Who was invented by fans.
Yeah.
They had a contest.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and give the scoop on what's the skinny on Bouncing Boy.
Okay. Chuck Tane, who was walking along in his costume that he wears for now on.
Yeah.
And even in the Legion, he's carrying a flask of super plastic fluid. And to the council scientists, but say, hey, I want a gold brick. Well, which is...
He goes to a baseball game.
Yeah.
Outdated term.
Yeah.
But it means
even now it's outdated.
You're going to, slack off just...
I'm not sure what gold brick, where that's from.
What the actual meaning is?
Yeah.
To the internet. Later.
Okay, yeah. But
you get the gist of what it means.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's and all right, so he's watching the game and he's got a soda and a hot dog and he drinks out of the wrong bottle and he gets super elasticity.
He inflates and bounces. He's also invulnerable as Bouncing Boy.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's even less than shrinking. I would want.
Yeah, I mean, like, he ends up kind of being like the morale officer of the Legion.
Yeah.
And he is just really fun. And also, when you see him like balloon into a ball and bounce around, that is so fun. That's got to be so much fun to draw.
Yeah. He has the lamest origin story, and he's the lamest of Legionnaires, but he's the most fun.
And visually very unique.
Yeah.
And I think that adds a lot of really important color to the Legion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah. But he's still wearing the same suit.
Well, he just had living in the future clothes,
Yeah.
and they were stretchy. Apparently, the clothes have a lot of give.
Right.
He was a huskier guy. Yeah. So next they get Matter Eater Lad.
Yeah. That's another one that's low on my list.
But I love him.
Yeah.
I like his costume.
He's Tenzol Kem.
Yeah, from the planet Bismol.
Yeah. I would love my writing program to recognize these names. But
they don't.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, Tenzol, on the planet Bismol, the people, there was a drought or a famine, and so the people adapted to be able to eat really and digest any kind of matter.
Yeah.
And so he left his fellow Bismolians to join the Legion of Superheroes, and he made it.
Yeah, and man, they probably writers stay up all night trying to think of what to use Matter Eater Lad for.
Yeah,
because
I love his name. I love his costume. You would think that he would be in the subs, in the Substitute Legion, but he's also got to be like their greatest inspiration. You know what I mean? Like, oh, see him. I could get into the Legion. Look at Matter Eater Lad.
Yeah.
Like
that lame-o can get him.
No.
Okay.
But here's the thing, there's actually members of the subs, Chlorophyll Kid and Polar Boy and
Mm-hmm.
Fire Lad, who are like, those powers are perfectly useful.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, there's some use to it. I mean, and eat through a wall or something like that. Well,
Matter Eater Lad.
but he retires.
Yeah,
and goes into politics.
yeah, and at some point he went insane too.
Oh, he comes back and there's this machine about to kill everybody. He eats it and it drives him insane. So now they're trying to fix that.
Yeah,
I don't think they have yet.
Yeah, at this point in the continuity. Later he becomes an attorney.
Okay.
Yeah. I will. Just one sec. I will say, over the course of the Legion's history, at least in the original Legion continuity, it lasts from like 1958 to about 1994, before the first reboot. There's like 3 Legionnaires who go insane.
Oh.
Actually, that third one might be in one of the later continuities, but
that's understandable.
Yeah,
you're finding really, really weird stuff.
Yeah, at some point in the whole history of the Legion, Matter Eater Lad goes insane, Brainiac 5 goes insane, and
that'd be the last one I want to go insane.
And Starboy goes insane.
Yeah.
And I think they all get better eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Why isn't Jimmy Olsen insane? I've been driven mad by all his madcap adventures.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Twinkie alert.
Yeah, with the Flash meets the Buruk Rat.
Yay.
Oh,
he's my favorite villain of all time. He's going to stop the city by his red tape gun, and his red tape shoots out and surrounds everybody. You can't do anything. Just like in real life.
Yeah.
What a great God.
And so the Flash, beats him up and...
No, he grabs some red tape and he goes all around him and ties him up, and he gives him a Hostess fruit pie. Yeah. And both of our Twinkie alerts, none of the superheroes eat the...
I can think of like one example where the hero eats the Twinkie.
Yeah.
Because I found that Hulk one that I sent you.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's... Yeah, I think there might be one more. And also, there's nobody eating them with their tongue out and deliciousness.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, but the Buruk Rat got a big delight in every bite of that Hostess fruit pie.
Yeah. What a great villain.
Okay. Yeah, in 1981, this is like I think it's 81 or 82, they stopped doing the Hostess fruit pie ads. But, I mean, they were a staple of comics through the 70s and into the early 80s. There are hundreds of them.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
We've probably done 100 ourselves.
We've done quite a few.
Yeah.
And
that
then
might be my favorite, except the hillbilly one with Thor.
Yeah, that one is great. One of the ones, I keep finding weird ones, like I'll read like a Gold Key comic or pick up a Harvey or an Archie comic and find them in there. I'm like, oh, I have never seen these, because, I see mostly Marvel and DC stuff. But I'm like, they'll have them with those characters.
Oh, do they have? Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty
like
cool.
I've seen like Richie Rich and Casper Hostess ads.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So back to the Legion.
All right. Now we hear the story of Lightning Lad giving his life to save Saturn Girl.
Yeah. Because Dream Girl predicted that... Was it Dream Girl or somebody predicted that one of the Legionnaires was going to die? And it was going to be Saturn Girl, but Lightning Lad...
No, he's contacted by Mon-El.
Oh, Mon-El from the Phantom Zone. See what we just did there? Yeah.
Ow. And I like it that, well, I say here, I write my notes as I read.
Yeah, that's good.
And so I'm saying, in the Legion, people die, and I like that. It's not a comic book death, but I think I'm proven wrong here. But they do, stuff does happen permanently, which I like.
Yeah, I think Lightning Lad is the one that is the quote unquote comic book death, where they definitely come back. Other Legionnaires who die, and we'll get to them, don't.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I hate to see them die, but it's pretty cool for a comic book to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Lord Gann.
Hang on.
Oh.
So Lightning Lad died.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back Oh, or did they get to that just yet?
No.
Okay. Anyway,
All right.
so Largand,
Goes to Krypton on the very worst day to go to Krypton.
yeah, and meets Jor-El. We've read this story.
Yes, we have.
We've read the Silver Age story. It's Superboy's big brother. Is
Yeah.
that story?
Yeah, and he comes to Earth,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, he finds out he's not allergic to kryptonite. He's allergic to lead,
But because Largand is from the planet Daxam, which was a neighboring planet to Krypton. Jor-El sent him to Earth with or sent him on his merry way with a message or whatever, like thanks, we think you're a nice kid or whatever. He goes to Earth and he has amnesia, and he has an adventure for a few days in Smallville, where Superboy assumes that he's his brother because he had a message from
he
Jor-El.
names him Mon-El because it's Monday.
Yeah, and of the House of El. So sorry, we needed to back up a little bit there.
Okay.
In the course of that story, Superboy becomes suspicious of Mon-El and plays a trick on him. He fires these lead balls at him that are painted green to look like kryptonite, and gets really sick. And then Superboy's like, I knew you were a phony. This isn't real kryptonite. This is lead. And then the amnesia fades. He's from Daxam, and lead poisoning isn't the same as kryptonite poisoning. If you take away the kryptonite, you'll get better, or you can. The lead poisoning, you'll be permanently sick. So Superboy sends him to the Phantom Zone, where he'll be able to live until he can find a cure for the lead poisoning, and he has to wait 1,000 years.
And I don't know if you can do anything in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
I don't, doing nothing. I mean,
Here's the thing,
I think they can watch life.
Here's the thing, but maybe, yeah, you can. But also, it could be that you don't have a in the zone itself, unless you're, say, observing other people go out through their lives, like, hey, that person lived their whole life and they're dead now. I think in the zone, if you're not paying attention to other people, you may not experience time.
That would be okay. All right.
Because you're ageless. So the concept of time may not, or it may not seem like it because you're ethereal, you can't eat or drink or do anything.
And even if we got popped in there, after a while, and nothing else happened, after a while, we would just sleep a lot because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And I think that 1,000 years, you'd be sleeping a lot, I think.
Yeah.
But man, that does sound bad.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the Phantom Zone, thank you.
No. Well, maybe for a little bit.
What? No. That's horrible.
No, I'm not saying you. I like to check it out. Hey, what's this Phantom Zone?
Oh, it's awful. Let's leave.
Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Memphis. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't been there.
I have.
Okay. So, but anyway, 1,000 years later, Brainiac 5 came up. Was it Brainiac 5 and one of the other Legionnaires came up with the antidote? I want to say it was either Saturn Girl or Dream Girl helped him, but came up with the serum to the anti-lead thing.
It just says here Brainiac 5.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of other versions of it that I've read, but Brainiac 5 came up with the serum that cured Mon-El, and then he could, live a regular life.
Hey, all right. So now Lightning Lad shows up and says, "Hey, aren't you dead?" And,
What the heck, man?
So they take off his mask, and it's his sister.
Yeah, Ayla Rands.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was posing as Lightning Lad. So she joins the Legion as Lightning Lass.
Could she just join as a sister? What's up with that?
They had a rule against duplicate powers.
Oh, but he's not there. So.
Yeah. And also, don't you think Mon-El, Superboy, and Ultra Boy basically have the same powers?
Yeah, just a little bit different to be... make it legal.
Yeah, and also Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a girl.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't do a thing.
But Superboy is not he's kind of a sub-member or something like that.
He's not there all the time.
So I don't.
So I get that. So maybe they're considered Legion they're Legionnaires, but since they're not full-time members because they're not in the 30th century all the time, I guess they get a pass. And I don't think you typically see a lot of stuff where Superboy and Supergirl are there together.
Yeah.
Because Supergirl knows Kal-El as Superman.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. However, who else joined? Dream Girl.
Yeah, she becomes Light Lass. So,
Lightning Lass does. Yeah, something causes her powers to change, and she just makes objects lighter. So it's kind of like the opposite of what Starboy does. He makes things heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Ja-Ara.
Jan. Ara.
Jan? Oh, their N's and H's look the same.
True. But yeah, Element Lad.
Yeah.
Who's one of the great Legionnaires.
Yeah, had his world destroyed. He got by Roxas, the world destroyer.
Yeah.
He got his revenge.
He did, and there's a great story where Element Lad goes to find Roxas. He returns to his home world. It was destroyed by Roxas. Roxas escapes from Takron Galtus, and he decides he's gonna kill him. He killed all of his people. He's like, okay, I don't care if I get expelled from the Legion. I'm gonna do this. And they go there, and Chemical King, you know, they catch up with him. When Element Lad is going to shoot Roxas in the head with some laser pistol, Chemical King neutralizes the power of it without realizing it, and also does something to knock Roxas out.
Yeah.
And so Element Lad for a moment thinks that he killed him. And then the Legionnaires explain, dude, you would, if you really did this, you wouldn't be able to live with it. And they explained that you didn't really kill him. And they're glad that they did it. It was actually it's one of the best usages of Chemical King, who, by the way, was only in about a dozen stories.
Yeah.
And also, I think Chemical King and Element Lad are a good pair to A, play off each other, but also B, couldn't Element Lad basically do anything Chemical King could do and more?
Yeah.
Chemical King causes chemical reactions, and Element Lad transmutes properties. I realize that they're not exactly the same power. I feel like there would be a lot of things that would be...
Chemical King is probably better at parties. Okay.
I'll turn these cupcakes into psilocybin mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, hey, Harvey Wallbanger again. Yeah, okay.
Who is that?
It's a drink.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was a John Candy character in a movie. Harvey Wallbanger.
It could be.
Okay.
So.
Anyway.
Okay, so they're trying to bring back Lightning Lad. So they're holding up
these lightning rods.
Yeah. And they know that one of them is going to die.
No, their life force will be transferred into his body.
Yeah.
And so when the lightning rod is struck, looks like it hits Saturn Girl.
Yeah.
And turns out it wasn't her at all, but it was Chameleon Boy's pet, Protey.
Yeah, which is really sad. Protey is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's weird though because they didn't introduce Protey at all in this story.
Yeah, he's one of the few pets I like in comics.
Well, and it turns out that the Proteans are not animals; they are sentient. And so then Protey 2 became kind of almost a Protean abolitionist, although they weren't slaves. But you know what I mean,
yeah.
And Protey 2 led, I want to say led the Legion of Super Pets with Comet, Streaky, Beppo, and who am I forgetting? Maybe I got everybody.
Okay.
So that happened.
Here's a page of woe.
Lightning Lad loses an arm in a fight.
Yeah. Triplicate Girl loses one of her bodies.
So to Computo.
Starboy kills somebody and is booted out of the Legion.
Even though he killed him in self-defense.
Which I think is BS. I disagree.
Yeah.
I'm right. My congressman on that.
Now, he's exiled, but then he goes and he's with the subs for a while and eventually gets readmitted. Something happens to Matter Eater Lad and he gets fat.
Yeah, and Bouncing Boy loses powers.
Yeah.
And he marries Duo Damsel.
Yeah.
Which, man, that gives me hope. I
Right.
mean, all these buff-looking guys and really handsome. Here's goofball, fat, bouncing boy, and he gets two girls.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same person, but
Right.
but yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's great.
Yeah. That's okay.
I mean,
but it's
like, honey, are you saying both of you have a headache? Come on.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
We can't go any further.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, we won't, I should say. Then
But that's
Karate
awesome.
Kid joins, right?
Yeah. So he is a son of a supervillain, and who is raised by his father's killer.
Okay.
He's a nice guy, his sensei. And he's taught a super form of kung fu or something that no one knows about him.
Yeah.
But he can fight Superboy, which is amazing.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean, I guess if Brainiac's 12th level intelligence can be a superpower, so can being really good at martial arts.
Yeah. If Bruce Lee wore a cape, he'd be a superhero.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, he pretty much is a superhero in Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
Man, that movie's great.
Yeah, it is indeed.
It's too bad he couldn't have saved Jim Kelly, though.
Yeah. But it was a good death, I think.
Oh, he
It was-
died
it was a
fighting.
noble- yeah,
he died fighting.
It was a noble death.
When
so.
he tells the bad guy, when he confronts the bad guy, like it is revealed to be super villainous, he's like, "Man, you come right out of a comic book."
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's good. You
Yeah.
seen the parody? It's in Kentucky Fried Movie.
No, I haven't seen the
It's
movie.
Fistful of
Yen?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, you told me about this before. So then, who joins next? Princess Projectra, right?
Yeah, she's Projecta Renzor. Where they got that name
From the planet Orando.
Yeah. And she's just slumming it because she's tired of being a princess. It's boring, so
Yeah.
she's a legionnaire.
Yeah, but she creates very realistic illusions. She's sexy Mysterio.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Casmia Malor.
Which is Shadowlass.
And let's see. Oh,
Okay.
And let's see what happens to her. She uses clouds of darkness.
Yeah.
She has a battle that destroyed the Legion's clubhouse. I guess that's the second one.
Yeah.
Because the first one's used by the Sub-Legion.
Yeah. I like Shadowlass a lot, and she's introduced also in the story that introduces. I think that's right. Oh no, not the first, but the. Okay, the story that introduces the Fatal Five. They are introduced actually as being brought in to help the Legion fight this super menace, the Sun Eater. And I won't get into all that story because someday you should read it. It's a good one.
Okay.
But when the Fatal Five come back as villains to menace the universe, that story is the story that introduces Shadowlass.
Okay.
She's from Taluk 8, I think, or 7 or something like that.
Oh, we missed a story here.
What?
Wildfire tells the super boy and girl cannot go to Earth in the 30th century because a cloud of kryptonite comes.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So we get, oh God, Surprise and Mysterious. And these people in armor.
Yeah, and they help the Legion on this mission. And at the end of the story, they're revealed as Dream Girl and Starboy, and they are readmitted into the Legion.
Yeah. I thought that
I
was-
can't remember what it was that Dream Girl did screwed up and got kicked out.
I think she had dreams and that were true but not correct.
Yeah.
She dreamed of the Legion dying, but it's actually Legion robots. That look like the
Oh,
Legion.
okay.
And so it really messed up things. And
That's right. Okay.
okay, so we got Dream Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here is
She's from Naltor, right?
Nura Nal.
Yes.
Yeah,
from-
Halator.
yeah.
And she joins up and she messes up big time.
Yeah. Her sister, the White Witch, would become a member of the Legion later on as well.
Yeah.
Actually, not long after this limited series, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But she leaves happily because, well, I need to redo my powers and train more.
Yeah.
And she's leaving and bye, and they're going, bye. You know, they're like really happy or something like that. Well,
Yeah.
I'd be kind of bummed because I messed up big time.
Yeah. But they're leaving on good terms. They're not like kicking her out.
Yeah. What she did was she thought that Lightning Lass was going to be killed, so she makes an accident that removed Lightning Lass's powers.
Oh, that's right. And then she gets new powers as Light Lass,
Yeah.
where she makes things lighter than air.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Ooh, another one I don't want.
yeah.
Except on moving day. That would be nice.
Yeah. Did we already talk about Invisible Kid dying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was killed by Validus of the Fatal Five, who were in this panel here. There's Validus. There's Mano, Persuader, the Emerald Empress, and Tharok is around somewhere. There's Tharok, yeah.
Cool.
What does that panel say? Can you read that?
Giving Tasmia and Gray the power to cast areas of complete darkness, she took the name of Shadow Lass. And
Oh, right. That
amply
was like-
proved her worth.
Yeah,
And
That's-
the Fatal Five.
yeah. Oh, man, the Fatal Five are great.
Yeah, they seem cool. Yay, Legion headquarters.
There's a 2-page spread that's just all about the Legion headquarters. This is great.
Yeah, although I like the cutaway, but this is cool. There's a special elevator that goes to underground vault containing Mon-El's anti-lead poisoning serum. So, wow. I mean,
Well, here's the thing. They have to keep it in a vault because they don't want other Daxamites to get it. Because they can't really come to Earth because there's too much lead around. They could get poisoned and die. The only reason that he can go around being a superhero,
yeah.
with basic impunity or no risk of death, is because he has the serum that cured him of the lead poisoning. All other Daxamites, yeah, they could come to a solar system with a yellow sun and gain superpowers, but they have this tremendous weakness to lead.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because Mon-El is like Superboy with no weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because without the lead, and I don't think he's any more vulnerable to magic than anybody else.
Yeah. Except maybe he might forget to take the elixir.
No, it was you took it this one time.
Oh,
and you're
really?
good. Yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay.
That's why they have to keep that serum in a vault.
Yeah.
And during the Legion reboot, there would be some renegade Daxamites who get a hold of the serum,
Oh, okay.
or a version of it that drives them insane, and so they become these horrible villains.
Okay. But it's a pretty cool. I mean, it's a huge L. I don't think that's a flag.
Yeah.
And a flag with a huge L, which is
Directly above the first huge L.
Yeah, and it's put them half mast when a legionnaire dies.
Right.
But it's cool. I love those things.
Yeah.
Okay. Bryn Londo got.
Bryn Londo.
Oh, God hit. Okay, sorry.
You had a typo in your notes.
Yes,
I
I did.
spotted it, and now it's making it onto the show. Great.
Sorry. All right. He got hit by Zunium rays.
Sure.
Okay. An android fooled him, thinking that the android was the real guy, and
Bryn was an
Bryn-
android.
Yeah, and so he called himself Lone Wolf and stayed by himself.
Yeah.
And then he gets his memory back, and now he's Timberwolf.
Yeah. And Timberwolf, the character of Wolverine in Marvel Comics is actually patterned off of the later, more angrier,
Really?
more feral version of Timberwolf.
That is fast.
I mean, like, this character, who is a lot like Wolverine, predates Wolverine being that way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And he has none of Wolverine's popularity.
No, I mean, like, Timberwolf had like a 4-issue limited series in like the early 90s, which pales in comparison to, the long-running ongoing series and limited series and so on that Wolverine had.
Yeah.
Not
Not
to
to mention
mention-
4 movies. Was it 3 or 4?
Well, 3, the third one's coming out, but also he's been in all the X-Men movies.
Mhm.
All the X-Men movies have really been like Wolverine and his pals, the X-Men.
Yeah.
You know, because they're really about him.
The first X-Men, he cusses them out, which is was the climax of the movie for me.
Oh, in X-Men First Class, yeah. That
Which
was
is a
funny.
great movie.
Yeah. Anyway, what's going on in our comic book?
All right. Saturn Girl finally reads Marla's mind and finds out that Brand is a father of one of the legions.
No, she goes and reads R.J. Brand's mind. Oh no, she's gonna do that. She reads Marla's mind. She's gonna go find out who it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one of the Legionnaires is the son or daughter of R.J. Brand. Who could it be?
I don't know.
I do.
Oh, darn.
I knew before I read this limited series. However,
yeah, I don't have no idea, and it's going to be exciting.
but the reveal is in this series, and it will be fun to see your
okay, yeah,
reaction. Who do you have any guesses?
Not at all. I have no clue. So,
okay.
Okay, I don't know. Bouncing. I still say Bouncing Boy, and I'm going to stick with that.
Okay.
It's just interesting. All it is origin stories. I like origin stories, so I enjoy them. But nothing much happened. So
right.
It's kind of a bizarre superhero comic book.
Yeah, we're getting a very condensed version, a history of the Legion, and there's this story woven into it, this mystery. It kind of works and it kind of doesn't. But I'm like, I've had fun reading this.
Yeah.
So I think it succeeds in that.
Yeah, it's a MacGuffin. So
yeah, you got to have a reason, and that's fine. I think if they just made it like, here's all the origins of all the Legionnaires, it'd be a little bit kind of bland, a little drier. I think they found a way to do this pretty well.
Yeah, I couldn't think of any way to do it better. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So I guess we'll wrap up for this week. Comic Reflections is recorded in Portland, Oregon, and produced by Sean Roof. Until next time,
long live the Legion.
Warlord Worlds, a fan podcast devoted to the comic creations of Mike Grell, including Warlord, John Sable, Starslayer, Shaman's Tears, and Green Arrow. I'm Darren.
And I'm Ruth. We hope you'll join us as we discuss the stories, characters, and art in the many excellent comics from writer and artist Mike Grell.
Warlord Worlds is available at podbean.com and on iTunes and Stitcher.
Find us at warlordworlds.com.
I'm Mike Gillis.
And I'm Casey Doran, and we want to ask you an important question.
Are you sick and tired of other panel discussion shows wasting your time droning on and on about foreign policy, economics, and human rights?
Or do you want to hear conversations about things that actually matter?
We host a podcast called Radio versus the Martians. Every month we gather a panel of our nation's finest minds and plunge a rusty prison shank into the heart of tough questions that have an impact on the lives of real people like you.
Like, are drivers required to pull over for the Ghostbusters?
Is the United Federation of Planets actually an oppressive dictatorship run by guidance counselors?
Is Arnold Schwarzenegger secretly a genius?
And are we being mean when we laugh at movies that are so bad they're good?
So write your congressman and let them know that Radio vs. the Martians is available on iTunes, Stitcher, and on radioversusthemartians.com.